How to remain positive in times of uncertainty. I totally get it. Right now, we're in a very scary time, and it just feels like everything is falling apart and you don't know what to do. I have been there more times than one. If nobody knows this, if you're new to me, I was homeless in another country that wasn't mine. I had moved to Sweden at a young age of 19. I was newly married, just had a baby. My baby at the time when we moved to Sweden was only 8 or 9 months old. And literally, all of a sudden, I just wound up homeless. My kid was kidnapped from me, and my whole life shattered right before my eyes. It was one of the worst experiences I've ever experienced in my entire life. Like, I kid you not. I had no idea what was going to happen. I had no idea what to do. I didn't even exist in the system because I was currently going through immigration. So I wasn't allowed to study, work, see a doctor, nothing. Like, I could see a doctor and stuff, but I would just be paying full price. If I tried to study, I would be paying full price. I wouldn't be getting any of the benefits that, Swedes or residents would get. So I had no idea about anything. I was constantly in a state of fear. I ended up losing in court due to not having a stable home, and it just felt like my entire life was crumbling right in front of me. That's a long story on its own. So if anybody wants to hear that story, definitely let me know, and I will film that. That's going to be you need dinner to sit and listen to how long that story is and how intense, and some trigger warnings for that, because there's a lot of crazy stuff that ends up happening. But how did I stay positive throughout that? It's because I had no other choice. I had no other fucking choice but to remain positive. You had two choices in theory: lay down and be done, or choose to be optimistic and trust yourself. And I chose to trust myself because, in theory, what else was I going to do? What else was I going to do? I knew that I wasn't just going to lay down, because I knew that I was fighting for my daughter to try to win her back. I literally was like, it's do or die. And I told myself I'm going to win. I don't know how. And literally everything was pointed against me. There was absolute zero way I was going to win that. I didn't have a stable home. I had no money. I could barely afford to feed myself. I couldn't work because I was in the immigration system. I had child abuse papers written against me by my mother-in-law. Like, it just kept getting worse after worse and worse and worse. And I'm just like, oh my God. When it was my turn to, have my visitation, because I ended up getting visitation, even though I'm mom. The first two visitations we were supposed to have, my daughter ended up sick. To this day, I don't know if she really was sick or not. But I ended up missing, 4 weeks without seeing her because of that. They didn't want to FaceTime me. Nothing like that. It was horrible. It was horrible. I was alone. I was with a guy that I had met who, in theory, was helping me out. But there's a backstory behind him as well. And he ended up R-wording me at one point. And now I was really at my lowest. Really at my lowest. And you would be like, Anastasia, how the hell did you survive that? And the only thing I could do was remain positive and keep trusting in myself and that I would get out of this. At one point, there was literally, like I said, actually at multiple points, there was no hope for me. So many people who were watching me experience this were like, girl, I don't know how you're doing this. And over, I would say, I don't know either. And would you imagine that I ended up being the winner? That I ended up coming out on top? And now I am successful. And now I am telling my story to hundreds of thousands of people, helping inspire them to feel like you can do anything because you can. And all you have to do is trust yourself. At the end of the day, the only thing you can do is bet on yourself. No matter how grim life looks at the moment. I've been there. I have been there. And that is why I'm here today, to be able to show you that you will be okay. I promise. As scary as it looks, as terrifying as it looks, you will be okay. It was like a very soul-searching, healing journey for me when I came back, because I realized just how strong of a person I was after the situation had ended. When I reflected on everything and was like, I fast forward, because I know people are going to ask. I do have my daughter. Yes. I'm still with my husband. Yes. That was, like I said, an entire storyline on its own as to what happened and, how we got to where we are today. But I want to use my voice, and I continue to use my voice to show people that I promise it's going to be okay. It is. Like right now, things are terrifying. Yes. But you have two choices: lay down and take it, lay down or trust yourself and trust that you're going to be okay. It's not your job to figure out the how, the why, the where, the when. It's your job to trust and believe in yourself and whoever else you believe in, to get you to where you need to be at that moment. So if you're seeing this message, seeing this video, you can do this. And I genuinely believe in you. I know it's terrifying. I really do. I hear you. I've been there. But if you see me all these years later, I'm here and I survived my deep, dark night of the soul. It gets better. It does.